Alright, I'm going to be trying be as honest and fair, as objective as I can, but it sucked. The Rebels premiere sucked. And the reason why I have my sunglasses off is because I'm really pissed. You canceled a wonderful show. Okay, here's what we should have gotten tonight. We should have gotten the Season 7 opener of Clone Wars, which would have showed us the story of how Rex is leading an experimental and unorthodox group of clones called Bad Batch, who are badass and all of their own unique abilities, and their names are related to their abilities, and Echo would have come back. But instead, we just got a pilot of just a bunch of random characters running around while ripping off all these Star Wars cliches, and it fucking sucked. Okay, my biggest problem with this premiere is that we never get to know any of these who any of these characters are, and are never given a reason to care. They're just running around from start to finish. At no point do we sit down and say, here's the character, we're going to take some time to get to know them and care. And you had an hour episode. I have seen episodes like in 20 minutes that have established characters and goals. Avatar: The Last Airbender did pretty well. Walking Dead, all of these episodes, more or less the same amount of time. And yet in 40 minutes, they accomplish nothing, just a bunch of running around. Now I get that Ezra is supposed to be our sort of bridge into the show. Like, the character we're supposed to relate to, but I don't care. We never get to know who he is. I mean, remember Luke from A New Hope? We don't throw Luke into action. We start by sitting down, getting to know him. We spend we see him going about his day. We learn that we get to know him, how he wants to spend time out there. I mean, there's the iconic shot of him looking at the twin sons of Tatooine. We see in his family dinner conversation, we see that he wants to very much get out there and do something of his life, but he's held back by his honor and responsibility to his family. And then, when he's thrown into all this action, we care. But with Ezra, we never have that. We just immediately see him stealing crates. At no point do we get to know who he is. We just see him do stuff and we're expected to care. We meet this group, but at no point do we get to know who the group is or any of their backstory. I mean, for as much as I complained about the Rebels, the A New Dawn novel, at least in that, we got to know who Kanan was and spend time getting to know him before all the characters we got to know before shit went down. Whereas here, at no point do we do that. There's just a lot of running around, a lot of cheesy dialogue, terrible references to iconic characters like Tarkin. And then we rehash a lot of stuff in New Hope, like the boy finding a hologram. We have a dark Sith guy and an Imperial officer. The only things I liked were the only reason I care about the rest of the crew is all right, but we never get to know who they are. I mean, Kanan I only care about because I read A New Dawn and I know his backstory. The villain, Agent Kallus, seems kind of cool. Steve Bloom, I enjoyed hearing him as the Stormtroopers and as Zeb. And I really enjoyed hearing James Earl Taylor as Kenobi. It was nice to hear a Clone Wars voice actor. And the animation was decent, but we never got to care about the characters. The animation was decent at times. There were some decent textures and backgrounds, but at times it looked unfinished, especially when you got close up. There was really no detail on the characters, just really bland, generic textures. I can really see why they scrapped, because Zeb, his design is based off the original Wookiee design, and I can clearly see why they went with the design they did, because, yeah, way better. But the Wookiees on this show, oh my gosh, they looked horrendous. Like, just so you know, there was an arc plan for Clone Wars in Season 7 where we would have gone to Kashyyyk and we would have seen the Wookiees and they would have been these giant animals. Just Google "Thank You Clone Wars" and you can see a sketch of it. It looks great, and the Wookiees in that probably would have looked way better than they did on the Clone Wars. The sound was flawless. I really liked hearing all the classic Star Wars sound effects, and the music was pretty good, although most of it just sounded like they just went to the Star Wars sound file, took some Star Wars music, and just put it in the show. There was maybe only one or two times where I heard something original that sounded like it was recorded. Whereas Clone Wars, most of the music's original. So yeah, this was a terrible start. So much time went by, yet I feel like nothing happened. We barely got to know these characters, but maybe it'll get better. The next episode is Droids in Distress, and it's about where they're just going to shoehorn in R2 and 3PO, and why did you have to cancel the Clone Wars, Disney? And in case anyone's wondering, I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 10. It sucked. So yeah, that's what I have to say about this show. Please like, dislike, comment, subscribe, and as always, this is JStars360, and may the Force be with you, and please let me know what you think of me without my sunglasses. Until then, again, may the Force be with you, and may the Force please be with this show. Oh, by the way, the Big Hero 6 stuff they showed during the Rebels premiere looked way better than this. So yeah, goodbye.